honestly not deserving of standing up here with these courageous men and women. I'm really not. I'm humbled to be here. I'm grateful to be here. I just wanted to share a few words before we walked out, and I just looked at this group and said, just thanks for all coming together. Because how many boys and girls will be able to find faith, hope, and love one day because this group of people put the mission above the credit? A lot of times why we don't work together is because we're so worried about who gets the credit. But I'm grateful because this is a group of men and women that doesn't care, because what does credit matter when lives are at stake? When so many lives are in their darkest hour of need. That's why it's an honor to be here. And like I said, I don't feel deserving, but I'm grateful to be here. You know, North Florida it's home to me, and it's been home to me and my family since we moved from the Philippines when I was 5 years old. And I had the privilege growing up, whether that was at Normandy Baseball Park or at Lakeshore, or it was at Trinity, or it was at Nice, or it was even at the University of Florida, to be fortunate at times to every now and then win an MVP for being the most valuable player of a baseball game or a football game or even basketball. But man, if that's one of the coolest things that I did in North Florida, that would be a really big miss for me. But as cool as those MVPs are, they mean nothing compared to what this group is fighting for, and that's a way, way, way more important MVP. You see, I was competing for MVPs of being the most valuable player, which ultimately one day means nothing. It's just a game. But what this group is fighting for is real MVPs, meaning the most vulnerable people who desperately, desperately need us, need you, need all of us to work together to put the mission above the credit. Just a couple of weeks ago, me and my wife were with one of our favorite people in the world. It's a young girl who was exploited for 6 years, almost every night. And she's one of the most courageous girls that I've ever had the chance to meet in my life, and she's someone that is an inspiration, truly an inspiration. People throw that out a lot, but I genuinely mean it. She's truly an inspiration to me and my wife, and I want you to hear from her. She writes, "My dark mask was worn at night. While at school, I would put my pretend smile mask over my dark soul, trying to survive another day until I ultimately lost myself. I let darkness fill me, and I wanted to die. I wrote a poem from the words that ran through my mind and heart over and over every single night. Rescue me. Help me. Monsters are chasing. Can't you see? Monsters are whispering. Can't you hear? Monsters are shouting. You're nothing. Can't you feel my pain? Monsters are pushing. End it all. Just jump. Can't you hear all the whys I'm asking? Monsters are laughing. You're all alone in this. Can someone please rescue me?" That's from an amazing young girl that in her time of need, while she was getting exploited almost every night, she is crying out to every single one of us, "Please rescue me, help me, can't you hear me?" And today, we want to listen, and we want to act. And people always throw around the term calling. I was called to do this. Well, you know what calling means? The best definition I've ever heard is an urgent and divine invitation to accept responsibility for a particular task. An urgent and divine invitation to accept responsibility for a particular task. This is urgent, and I also believe it's divine. That God hasn't just asked us, but commanded us to care for and take care of the most vulnerable. And it's an invitation to every single one of us. But are we going to accept responsibility for this task, for all of the MVPs, for the hurting boys and girls here in our backyard? We're fortunate now that God's let us serve in 79 countries around the world. And no one's more important or less important. But this one does mean a lot to us because it is home. And it is our backyard. And we have an urgent and divine invitation to accept responsibility for this task. And I'm so grateful that this group of men and women has accepted that responsibility urgently, and also knowing that there's a lot at stake, like every boy and girl that is hurting. And that's why, to me, this isn't a press conference. This is a rallying point, not a celebration, not even a time to congratulate a lot of people, although I do want to congratulate and thank this group. But this is a rallying point, because right here, as we're meeting, as we're talking, so many boys and girls are in their darkest hour of need. And they're calling out to us, saying, rescue me, help me, because there's a lot of monsters that are chasing them. And we need an army of people that will stand in the way and say, no longer on our watch, because every life is that valuable. So it's an honor to be here. We're truly grateful. Thank you, and God bless you guys.